England is a land steeped in history, mystery, and mythology. Its rolling hills, ancient castles, misty moors, and centuries-old churches provide the perfect backdrop for storytelling. English legends reflect a blend of Celtic myths, Roman influence, medieval chivalry, Christian belief, and Gothic imagination. Here are 10 of the most iconic English legends, from noble kings to eerie spirits and mythical creatures. These stories have shaped English identity and continue to inspire literature, film, and folklore. One story: King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Perhaps the most famous of all English legends, the story of King Arthur is the foundation of English medieval mythology. Arthur is said to have pulled the sword Excalibur from the stone, proving his divine right to rule. He established Camelot, a utopian kingdom of justice, and surrounded himself with heroic knights like Lancelot, Gawain, and Galahad. Arthur's legend includes the search for the Holy Grail, his tragic betrayal by Lancelot and Queen Guinevere, and his final battle at Camlan, where he is fatally wounded. Arthur is taken to Avalon, a mystical island, where he is said to sleep until England needs him again. His story symbolizes nobility, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Two story: Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest. Robin Hood is the legendary outlaw hero of Nottinghamshire, who robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. With his band of merry men, including Little John, Friar Tuck, and Maid Marian, he resisted the tyranny of the Sheriff of Nottingham and the usurping Prince John. Set in the time of King Richard the Lionheart, Robin Hood fights not only with bow and arrow, but also for social justice and freedom. Though historians debate whether he truly existed, Robin Hood lives on in ballads, films, and literature as a symbol of rebellion, fairness, and heroism. Three story: The Legend of St. George and the Dragon. St. George, the patron saint of England, is best known for slaying a dragon to save a princess and her town. According to legend, a dragon was terrorizing a city, demanding human sacrifices. When the princess was chosen, St. George arrived, fought the dragon, and defeated it with a lance and faith. The tale symbolizes the triumph of good over evil and the power of courage and divine protection. Though George was a real Roman soldier, martyred for his Christian faith, his dragon-slaying exploits became legendary in the Middle Ages. His emblem, a red cross on a white background, became England's flag and part of the Union Jack. Four story: The Ghosts of the Tower of London. The Tower of London, built by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, has witnessed centuries of bloodshed and is now considered one of the most haunted places in England. Legends tell of ghostly apparitions such as Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII, who was beheaded and said to wander with her head tucked under her arm. The princes in the tower. Two young royal boys mysteriously murdered, perhaps by Richard III. The ghost of Lady Jane Grey, and Queen for 9 days, executed for political reasons. These stories are chilling reminders of England's royal intrigue, betrayal, and tragedy. Five story: The Green Man, Spirit of the Forest. The Green Man is a mysterious figure found in carvings across Old English churches, his face made of leaves or surrounded by vines. Though his origins are pagan, he was adopted into Christian architecture during the medieval period. The Green Man is thought to symbolize rebirth, nature, fertility, and the eternal cycle of life. His face peering from trees, doorways, and stone arches reflects the deep connection between English spirituality and the natural world. He remains an enigmatic figure in English folklore, celebrated in May Day festivals and neo-pagan traditions. Sixth story, the legend of the Black Shuck. In East Anglia, the Black Shuck is a terrifying phantom dog with glowing red eyes, often seen as a harbinger of death. One of the most famous tales occurred in Bungay and Blithburgh churches in 1577, where the Black Shuck reportedly burst through the doors during a storm, killed worshippers, and left claw marks on the church walls, marks that are still visible today. The Black Shuck is part of a wider English tradition of ghostly hounds, echoing fears of death, storms, and the supernatural. Seventh story, the Lady of the Lake. A key figure in Arthurian legend, the Lady of the Lake is the mystical enchantress who gives King Arthur his sword, Excalibur, and later takes it back upon his death. She is often associated with the magical lake, Avalon, and in some versions she raises Lancelot, casts spells, and battles Merlin. The Lady of the Lake represents feminine wisdom, the power of water, and the mystery of fate. Her image has influenced everything from poetry to modern fantasy. Eighth story, the Devil's Bridge. All across England and Europe, legends of devil's bridges exist. These bridges were said to be built by the devil himself, often in exchange for the soul of the first living being to cross it. In one version, a clever villager tricks the devil by sending a butt dog or a goat across the bridge first, sparing human life. These tales reveal medieval fears of pacts with the devil, but also the cleverness of ordinary people in outwitting evil. Several bridges in England, especially in Cornwall and Yorkshire, are still linked to these eerie stories. Ninth story, the Legend of Herne, the Hunter. In Windsor Forest, the ghostly figure of Herne the Hunter is said to appear wearing antlers, riding a black horse, and haunting the woods at night. According to legend, Herne was a former royal gamekeeper who was betrayed by jealous rivals and hanged himself. His spirit returned, now cursed, to roam forever. Sometimes seen as a forest god or pagan spirit, Herne has been linked to Celtic myth, the Wild Hunt, and English Druidic traditions. He embodies the mystery of the forest, death, revenge, and the thin veil between the human and the supernatural. 10th story, the Legend of Albion. The name Albion is the ancient poetic name for Britain, and its origins lie in myth. According to legend, Albion was one of the sons of Neptune, or a giant who ruled the island on before humans came. In some tales, Albion is a lost land, older than time, tied to giants, magic, and prehistoric mystery, perhaps echoing sites like Stonehenge. The name Albion later came to represent the soul of Britain, a land of enchantment, legend, and heroic tradition. From royal swords to haunted castles, from outlaw heroes to mysterious beasts, English legends are both timeless and timely. They reflect the country's values, honor, bravery, cleverness, and reverence for nature, as well as its fears, betrayal, the unknown, and the supernatural. These stories have shaped English literature from Shakespeare to Tolkien and continue to live in films, books, festivals, and everyday imagination. To know these legends is to understand England's soul, not just its history, but its heart.